I guess it could have went better. I just, left it up to the judges again. I got nobody to blame but myself for that. He kept the pressure on pretty well in that third round. I kind of was trying to take a little bit of a breather and then go back after him, and he kept the pressure on pretty well and didn't let me do that.
He wasn't able to take you down, though, at all. So did that surprise you, or did you plan to not be able to be taken down by him?
Well, I've wrestled before, too.
Obviously.
So I expected him to have a tough time taking me down, yeah. And if I'm patient, it's a lot harder to take me down. If I'm trying to knock your head off real hard, it's a little bit easier sometimes. So I tried to be a little more patient because of that reason. I knew he'd be trying to take me down. He did about what I expected him to do with that. I knew he was going to not run the whole time. I knew he was going to stand and bang with me too. He wasn't going to be afraid of that, but yet try and take me down quite a bit to be on the safer side.
And as you said afterwards, that's a lot different from the Machida fight, which you told me on Thursday. You asked me, was that even a fight?
Well, not a whole lot happened in that fight, and it wasn't even comparable. I'm happy that Rashad stood there and he fought me tonight. He did a great job. Yeah, I'd consider it. I mean, I don't feel weak or overpowered at 205. But yeah, I would consider it. I weighed in at 204 today, and I didn't miss a meal.
Based on the 3 rounds with Rashad, I'm assuming you're fairly injury free. How quick do you want to get back in there?
I'd like to. I got a couple trips planned with my kids this summer, so I'd like to at least have a summer this year, and then get back in there before the end of the year.
And how far have you got to go to get back to what you were talking about, getting the sugar back in the Rashad?
Dan Henderson's a very tough opponent. He's he takes a hell of a punch and he gives a hell of a punch. But coming off of 2 losses, it takes a little bit hit on your confidence and just trying to work back and mentally to get your game where you want to, get your timing down, believing in your shots, believing in your punches and stuff like that. This wasn't my best performance by far, but it's something to start from.
Who would you like to fight next?
It really doesn't matter, to be honest. There's the way the light heavyweight division is now. There's a lot of guys, coming in new. Gegard Mousasi, and there's a lot of guys that are pretty tough. So it doesn't really matter to me who I fight next. Well, whenever it goes to the judge's decision, you never know how it's going to be. I've been on the good side of that, and I've been on the bad side of that. So you just kind of hope that, when the scores are red, that you did enough to win the fight. But you never know. You never know how somebody sees the fight going, and there's so many ways that somebody can judge a fight. So it's nerve-wracking, to say the least. But I was just more or less thinking, whenever you lose a fight and you put so much hard work into it, it's really disappointing. That's the hurtful part more than anything. Finding yourself in your career again, that may be something that's more of an afterthought. But for me, when I lose a fight like that, it's more or less like, man, I just wasted 10 weeks.
You talked a lot about getting past, some mental roadblocks coming into this fight. Were you more anxious than normal coming into this one? And was there a point during the fight, where maybe it kind of, clicked and, maybe you got past a little bit of that?
I was a little bit more anxious going into this fight for sure. But once you get out there and once you start going and getting hit, and once a fight starts and it happens, then it kind of just like blurs together, and then it kind of go with the momentum of the fight, and you kind of like keep scoring your mind, kind of thinking like, okay, did I land this punch? He caught me with this punch and things like that. But for the most part, it just kind of blurs together, and it's not like I'm not so conscious of the afterthought, because when your mind is so present in the moment, you're not really thinking about all the things that somebody from the outside watching the fight is thinking.
Rashad, continue with the conversation we had a couple of days ago. Now that you've won at 205, push away the whole 185 talk?
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, 205 is my home, and if an opportunity comes at me at 185, and it's a good opportunity, but for the most part, I feel good at 205, and I can't. It's hard for me to leave 205 weight class. I would love to get a shot at John Jones again. I'd love to get back to where I was and where I can be. As far as going out there and just being spectacular every single fight. But it's the landscaping has changed. It's not like it's not. It's pretty tough, man. It's pretty tough. You have a lot of guys in here, and a lot of guys that are very talented, bringing different techniques, and it's a different landscape. So I got to make some adjustments to my game if I'm going to be dominant.
I know you're probably going to say both, but I want to ask you, if you had a preference, would you rather fight for the title or get a rematch with John Jones? Should Jones perhaps lose to Alexander?
I'd rather just fight and just win my next fight, and we'll see what happens after that. One thing at a time. With the thing about with the media and everything like that, I just want to go in here and just enjoy competing and enjoy each and every single opportunity I get to fight against anybody. There's a lot of up-and-coming guys that are pretty tough, and got to mix it up in here. With the same. We've been fighting each other for a while with the same guys, same game of the fighters. So we got some new fighters in there, and we'll see if they mix it up in there, see if they can sustain and be a top like we were for a while. But I just want to just fight and just enjoy myself doing it, and whatever happens after that happens after that.